I have one question for you, Mr. B1-66ER. Can you explain why evil was permitted? If God is infinite in power, wisdom, and goodness, why did he permit his fair creation to be so marred by sin? After creating our first parents perfect and upright, why did he permit Satan to present the temptation, or why allow the forbidden tree to have a place among the good? Could he not have prevented all possibility of man's overthrow?
I think I can make it very plain to you. It pleased God for the joy it gives him to dispense his goodness, and to exercise the attributes of his glorious being, to create various orders of intelligent beings. Some he has endowed with greater capacity than others, but each he made perfectly adapted to his sphere. We are acquainted with many forms of life in our world, but above all others stands man, the masterpiece of God's workmanship, endowed with reason and intelligence superior to all others, and given the dominion over all. He was made upright and perfect. God pronounced him very good, a perfect man, physically, mentally, and morally, yet unacquainted with evil and lacking experience. Had evil never been placed before him, he could not learn obedience, and consequently there would have been no virtue nor merit in his doing right. I presume I need scarcely remark here that not the fruit of the tree, but the act of disobedience caused man's fall.
But could not God have made man unchangeably perfect?
No, to have done so would have been to make another God. Unchangeableness is an attribute only of an infallible, infinite being. God, he who cannot err must, of necessity, be all-wise, are all-powerful, and consequently eternal.
I had never thought it so.
If an intelligent being is to be made at all, he must be made liable to change, and, as he was created pure, any change must be from purity to sin. He could not even know the meaning of good, unless he had evil to contrast with it. He could not be reckoned as a medium to God, unless a temptation to disobedience were presented, and such an evil made possible.
But could not God, with whom we are told all things are possible, have interfered in season, to prevent the full accomplishment of Satan's designs?
You say all things are possible with God. I trust you remember that it is all possible things that are possible with him. It is impossible for God to lie, Hebrews chapter 6, verse 18. He cannot deny himself, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13. He cannot do wrong. He cannot choose any, but the wisest and best plan for introducing his creatures into life, and we should bear in mind that the fact of God's not interfering with the introduction and development of sin is one of the very strongest of reasons for believing that a temporary evil is necessary, and designed ultimately to work good.
Thank you, brother, for that well thought out answer, and thank you, JW Archives 2010.